The Ministry of Economy approves 8 initiatives to speed up recovery of small and medium enterprises from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning signs a use-of-ract agreement in the Wilaya of Thamreit. And COVID-19 recovery cases are increasing and the fatalities decline in the Sultanate. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq receives a cable of thanks from His Highness Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Emir of Kuwait, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of Sheikh Badriya Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Mubarak Al Sabah. The Ministry of Economy, in partnership with Small and Medium Enterprises Development Authority, announced on 8 initiatives which aim to speed up recovery of projects from the adverse effects of COVID-19 pandemic. It is expected that around 100 projects will benefit from these initiatives in various governorates of the Sultanate. Since the start of coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, small and medium-sized enterprises have encountered many difficulties, including financial troubles. Some of these enterprises reported substantial losses, and some of them went bankrupt, forcing them to leave the market. The Ministry of Economy, through these initiatives, aim to provide financial support to SMEs and thus enhance their contribution to the national economy, in addition to ensuring sustainability of these enterprises. Such initiatives include e-commerce program. The program aims to support SMEs to be involved in e-marketing platforms in the local and international levels. Another initiative is Winter Nights Festival. This event is organized during special occasions like Eid, in which products are exhibited in a way similar to bazaar and include a number of cultural and entertainment activities. Another initiative is meant for establishing institutions in the agro-industry field. The number of applications approved by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Authority within the Emergency Financing Program reached more than 160 applications for institutions affected by the coronavirus pandemic, with a value exceeding 1 million Omani Riyals. The authority confirmed that they actually started dispersing the emergency loans to eligible owners of small and medium enterprises most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic on the 29th of last July. The authority continues on a weekly basis to send successive batches of statements of applications due to emergency loan to Oman Development Bank in order to disperse the loans of the beneficiaries. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning signed agricultural land use-of-ract agreement with an area of 1 million square meters in Hanfaith area in the Wilaya of Thamreit in the Governorate of Dhofar. It came within the aim to establish an integrated complex for agricultural and animal wealth, in addition to the Sultanate's approach towards enhancing food security projects, as well as benefiting from available agricultural and water resources. It also seeks to provide agricultural locations with wide areas would reach millions of meters in various wilayas to investment purposes so as to achieve food sufficiency in accordance with the strategies and plans of Oman Vision 2040. The Ministry of Health announced 8 deaths and 348 new cases of COVID-19 in the Sultanate in the last 3 days. It also registered 493 recovered cases. The ministry also reported that the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in the Sultanate reached 302,132, while the total number of deaths reached 4,057. The total recovered cases reached 291,532. The ministry indicated that the total number of inpatients in the Sultanate Hospital reached 138, of which 60 are in intensive care units. Still to come in our news bulletin. A Spanish goalkeeper fails to clear ball, suffers an embarrassing goal. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Ministry of Labour granted the official license for Omani Society for Human Resources Management to host the Sector Skills Unit for Human Resources. The ministry also gave the license to Omani Association Chartered Public Accountants to host the Sector Skills Units for Accounts, Finance and Audit. The initiative came to establish a new phase for occupational economic sectors, which will be responsible for the structure that needs the labour market in all sectors. The Mazoon Dairy Company started the personal interviews for a number of job seekers who are holders of general education diploma and its equivalent. This came within the company's national initiative to provide job opportunities for the national manpower. It is worth mentioning that the company, along with other bodies concerned, is exerting great efforts to employ national cadres and contribute in the development process. After the launch of Seeds for the Future Program 2021 in partnership with a number of institutions and government as well as academic bodies concerned with technological training, a ceremony was held to honor the excelled participants from the Sultanate in the program. It aimed to develop the local technological talents and prepare future cadres in the technology sector in the countries of the region through knowledge exchange among the youth and raising their awareness in this sector. Public Establishment for Industrial Estates Madain signed an agreement with Reem Al Wadi Company to establish an electronic educational platform to provide education and training service for employees of Madain in all cities affiliated to the establishment. The platform seeks to keep up with the modern curricula and ways of training to qualify Omani employees and raise their productivity level in labor market. Sohar Port signed cooperation agreement with Hormuz Marine Company to provide ships fuel supplying services in the port. The agreement came within the exerted efforts to attract more ships and to meet increased demand of the ship's marine fuel, as well as reining efficiency of the fuel supply process to develop international shipment business in the port and the region. Now for the international world, French President Emmanuel Macron today announced the reopening of the French consulate in Iraq's northern city of Mosul, along with French-speaking schools. Speaking with representatives of the local Christian communities, Macron said France will be opening several schools to provide training and education in French in the war-torn city. According to the French embassy in Iraq, there are currently 2 French schools, both in Iraqi Kurdistan, in Erbil and Sulaymaniyah. New Zealand Director General of Health Ashley Bloomfield announced today that New Zealand has recorded 83 new cases of coronavirus in the community in the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of active COVID-19 cases in New Zealand to 551. Talking to reporters in Wellington, Bloomfield said,
So today we're reporting 83 new community cases since 9 a.m. yesterday. taking our total number of confirmed cases associated with the current Auckland community outbreak to 511. 82 of the new cases are in Auckland, one is in Wellington. The latter is a close contact of an existing case and was in isolation with no exposure in the community while infectious. There are also 2 new cases to report in recent returnees in managed isolation. So the total number of community cases in Auckland is now 496, and it is 15 in Wellington. 453 of the cases to date are epidemiologically linked, with the remaining 58 links being established epidemiologically and through our ongoing genome sequencing.
In Lyon, Spanish goalkeeper Dani Sartrez had a day to forget after his wayward attempt at a clearance allowed forward Ruben Sanchez to score the inaugural goal in the newly formed Primary Division RFEF. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Economy approves 8 initiatives to speed up recovery of small and medium enterprises from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning signs a usufruct agreement in the Wilaya of Thamreit. And COVID-19 recovery cases are increasing and the fatalities decline in the Sultanate. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night and stay safe.